A very good morning to all. Welcome to the another session of Structural Analysis 2 under the unit of application of strain energy principles for analysis of beam members. So friends, we have been analyzing different types of beams using the energy principle number 1, and specifically right now we are focusing on calculation of deformation quantities, namely slope and deflection. So as we are aware and as you all may have practiced, we all know that the Castigliano's first energy principle is rather applicable for calculation of the unknown quantities in terms of deformation. Let us say, for example, deflection and slopes. We have experimented application of this principles on some of the determinate structures, namely the cantilevers, bent cantilevers, and right now, finally, we have explored how to apply this first principle in the simply supported beam. So, in consecutive last 4 to 5 lectures, we have been practicing, we have been discussing and solving the problems based on this problem statement. So today we are going to conclude the application of the first energy principle, and if time permits, we'll go ahead with the application of energy principle number 2, which is dedicatedly applicable for calculation of the support reactions. And with the help of support reactions, you can definitely create the bending moment diagrams and shear force diagrams of given structure. So in that line, we shall be exploring determinate structures as well as indeterminate structures. Primarily, energy principle number 2 is applicable to indeterminate structures with a level of comfort and applicability which is enhanced with the help of the energy principles. I know that earlier we have applied different techniques in terms of sorry in terms of moment area method, Macaulay's method, and variety of other similar methods that we have explored, and we have put efforts to solve the indeterminate structures to an extent. So we'll also understand that how we can further apply these energy principles to the indeterminate structures. So today's focus is first we'll solve this problem which is in front of you, which I uh, floated into the last class, and you were required to work upon it. And however, if you have not worked it out, we will solve it and then we'll go ahead with the application of uh, energy principle number 2. So, in continuation, let us start this calculation. I hope you all have collected your writing tools, namely some notes and some calculators with you, so that you can easily calculate along with me or at your own pace. However, you will be largely calculating all the necessary calculations. So, first uh, step is support reaction. So you can start at your own pace. Now here, before we continue, let me tell you one important point. As a principle, we should not forget that when you require a deflection at a given point, compulsorily or mandatorily, you must have a point load associated to that point. For example, in this case, we require deflection at point C as per the question right here. Now you will see that Fortunately, we have the point load which is already loaded at point C itself. So there is no need to assume any fictitious load. Rather, to achieve the generalized moment equation, we will assign P as 60 kilonewton. Later on, as you know, we will be declaring that the real value of P is 60. Right? Then other load condition is we have 20 kilonewton per running meter as UDL on entire span. So we'll be taking help of segments. We'll be dividing the beam in a segment, two segments, and then we'll carry on with the development of generalized equations for moment in both segments. But prior to it, we need to calculate reactions at supports, and please be careful that now onwards, right now, until we start our integration, for us, there is no existence of 60 kilonewton, but instead we have the value of this force as P only, right? So don't use 60 kilonewton, just use P as a force, and later on we will assign P as 60 kilonewton. And you know very well why we require to do this, because unless you have force term like P as a force in your equation, it will not be possible for us to take the partial derivative of total energy stored in the structure with respect to the associate force. So now let's go ahead and calculate the reactions. I need answer from your side first of all. So start working on that and give me the value of VA and VB in terms of P, right? So include 20 kilonewton per running meter as it is, and include P as the force itself. So your answer will be in a combination of a numerical portion plus a constant portion of P. So you start working on that first, and as soon as you are done, you raise your hand. I will be cross checking your answers, and then we'll go ahead for the further calculations. So take your 2-3 minutes time and finish it with the help of the first principle. So it's recalling only. It's you just need to recall your earlier knowledge of mechanics of solids where you used to calculate reactions. The only difference is here, instead of 60 kilonewton, you just need to consider P as a force, which is a point load, right? So I'm sure that most of us are comfortable to calculate reactions, and once you are done, please raise your hand in the chat in the box, so I'll be unmuting yourself. Also make sure that those who have joined, they have entered their names and enrollment number in the chat box, so that the attendance can be maintained from that resource. So you just need to do it as you take the moment of all the available forces about either of the points. Usually we take moment at point A. So let's take moment of all the forces about point A. So the first moment will be, I'm just writing here for your guidance, P into 3, right? That is a force, and minus 20 into 8, that is total span, into 4, plus total span into reaction at point B. So VB into 8 equals to 0. So this will give you the value of VB first of all. So now I think you can give me the value of VB very easily, and then accordingly VA also. So raise your hand once you are done with the calculation. As a wise thinking, as an engineer, you should have some notion that how the proportion of force P will be divided. See, you can observe here that 20 kilonewton per running meter is a load which is available on the entire span, right? So 20 So the distribution of this force will be equal on each support, right? However, location of force P is not symmetrical or centrally located. So definitely according to the proportion of this length fragments, there will be a difference in the reaction, right? So P will not be equally divided in short on each of the supports. So some portion will be larger on the which is being transferred to the point A, and less proportion of this force P will be transferred to B because it is at a larger distance from point B. Right. So accordingly, you can create your own logic and you can calculate probably without using this equation also, right, for calculation of the reactions. So who will become volunteer? I think it's somebody has raised the hand. Who is he? Who is that? Somebody has raised the hand, but I am unable to see him or her. The name is not visible. There is a hand raised, but it's not displayed over. Ah, yes, Darsha. Yes, Darsha.
Sir, I am getting 80 plus 0.375 P.
Is it VB?
Yes, sir.
80 plus
0.375 P.
0.375 times P. That's perfect. Very good. Okay. Thank you. So now you, okay, don't mute yourself. You can tell us VA also.
Yes, sir. It is 80 plus 0.625 P.
625 P and 80 plus 0.375 times P. Okay, thank you. I can see that Prashant has also raised the hand, but I am sure that he must be getting the same answer. So uh, we'll come back to you, Prashant, probably later at other stage of development of the equation and all. But I have observed one thing, that not all the students are taking equal interest in responding to such calculative answers. So it is my request, it is my advice that even if you are wrong, don't worry about it. Right? There is nothing going to happen with any of us if you are not correct. But at least it is a sign or it is a symbol that you have made some efforts, or at least you are following the instructions, you are doing the work in parallel with the lecture which is content which is going on. Because after all, when you will be in the mixed mode, online offline, dual mode, hybrid mode, whatever we call, within some time, at that time anyhow you are going to work, right? So it would be a good point of calculation also. So now you please carry on. I'll be coming back in a minute. All right. All right. So now we are almost ready to begin with. See here. Let's redraw it once again so that it gives us clarity. Here we have 80 plus. Most of us know the next steps, so please carry on and start calculating the things. Right. 80 plus 0.375. Now, as you can observe here, what is interesting point to be observed as an engineer, you can see that here the division of P force is quite logical, right? So they are nothing but the proportion. So this is what I was discussing earlier, that if you total the UDL, it will be 160, right? So 8 into 20, that is 160, equally divided on each support. However, P will be divided in proportions according to the length. So here you have larger length, so it will be transferred here less, so that is 0.375, and here it will be distributed on a greater proportion. So it is 0.625 times P. All right, so I think we all are now set to start. Let's have a nomenclature A, B, and C. Right. Here we have P. I will write P only so that it gives us a kind of confidence. See, expansion and calculation of equations is now your responsibility, right? So I'll be helping you out over here with the formation or construction of the equation. So let's have first segment AC, where C is the origin, 0 to 3 meter is the length, right? Now what is MX equation? We have force here, right, which is VA. So I will be directly writing that 80 plus 0.625 times P into X distance, right? And it would be negative since it is going to be a clockwise moment. And then we have UDL. Do not forget this UDL. So here we have this UDL, which is working like this. It will be creating anti-clockwise moment. So I will be taking it further like this, plus 20 x square by 2, right? This is my equation of moment, and now I'm ready to take up further d del mx upon del p. So this is the only term that contains p, so it will be removed, and here you need to multiply this x in advance, and this is the negative sign. So our final value of del mx upon del p will be 0.625 times x. So I think most of us are clear on this, right? We can put it into the bracket, and this ends over here. And further, the other segment, that is B to C. So the origin becomes B. Here there is a mistake. Here the origin will be A, right? So please make a correction. Origin is at A, right? Because we know in simply supported beam we have to start from the origin itself. So now let's consider this portion. So from B we have to come here like this, and we are standing right now at intermediate point. So this is the force and that's the distance, so it will give us anti-clockwise moment. So the length will be 0 to 5 in this case. Now we have 80 plus, let's say, 0.375 P. All right, so that is anti-clockwise moment over here, right? And in addition we have UDL here, and it will be creating again the clockwise moment. So I will be taking it as negative 20 x squares by 2, and hence here multiplication x, right? So again I'll be taking the partial derivative of this equation, where this is the portion which we need to consider. So it will be 0.375 times x. x. So we have constructed the necessary equations. So now your job has become very straightforward in a way. You just need to put the things in order and start considering the multiplication of mx into del mx upon del p in our well-known equation. So and I didn't want that to change it, but again, unfortunately, because of the space limitation, I'm rewriting these things over here. Delta C equals to, we'll take for a moment EI, 1 upon EI as common out of it. So the first segment goes like 0 to 3 meters. The first equation is negative 80 plus 0.625 P into X, right, plus 20 x square by 2 into negative 0.625 x. The bracket completes here, dx. Let me once confirm this equation. 80 plus 0.625 p times and x and 20x square plus negative, negative, negative. Okay, done. So it is always good to cross check what you are calculating and carry on with the calculation. Plus again 1 upon EI, even though if you don't write this, that's fine, because already we have taken it out as a common. So plus here now we can write 0 to, let's say, 5. The calculation is like 80 plus 0.375 p times into x minus 20x square by 2 into 0.375x. Bracket completes, and then we have, sorry, it looks ugly little bit, but dx. Let's confirm once again. This is positive, this is negative, this is positive. Okay, 0.375. Okay, so 0.37. Everything is fine. So now you just please carry on. Now it's your turn to be active and start simplifying the whole equation, right? So be careful while you are multiplying such things, such a large values. Like, it is convenient always to now change p value with 60. So let's declare it here itself so that you can reduce the length of the equation. Let's declare it is 60 now. So let me help you out in this case. 0 to 3 meters minus is outside this bracket, 80 plus 0.625 into 60 into x plus 20 x square by 2. Here this remains as it is, 0.625 x, bracket, big bracket completes, it is dx now, and I will be using this space 0 to 5 meters. Again 80 plus 0.375 p times, sorry, that's what we are changing. So be watchful, into x minus 20x square by 2 into 0.375 x, big bracket completes on this side also, and now we have dx. So friends, let me write down the shortened equation for you, which will look little more neat and clean and short. So 0 to 3. So now let me calculate for you. 0.625 into 60, 37.5, right, plus 80, so 117.5, right. So should I be writing here? See, 0.625 into 60, so that gives you 37.5, and when you add it with 80 it gives you 117.5. So still it is negative, so 117.5 times x. See how it has become simple, right, in nature. So 20x squared by 2. Now this, please be watchful in the brackets, in the case of brackets, especially when you have negative signs, because it makes lot of difference in your ultimate answer, right? Dx plus 0 to 5 here, 0.375 into 60, that gives you 22.5 plus 80, so it is 102.5, right? So let me write here 102.5 times x, right? We should not forget x, minus 20x square by 2 into 0.375 x, big bracket completes, dx. So I have helped you a lot, I think, and I take it for granted that from here onwards you should not face any of the hurdle in simplification of this term. So here you just take care of your this multiplication. This term will be multiplied first with this term and then with this term. So when negative negative meets, it becomes positive. Here positive negative becomes negative, right? So that you have to take care in this case, right? All right. So here there is no hurdle as such, everything is positive. So you just simply need to multiply this term with one by one, first with this and later on with this. Right. So again, let me help you out. 117.5 into 0.625 becomes 73.43. Let me change the color. Okay. It is 0 to 3. Still remember, still we have not gone for integration, we are just preparing for integration, right? So the first two terms, this one and this, minus minus plus, so it is 73.44 x square, because this term has x, this term has also an x, right? Now negative 20 by 2 becomes 10, so 10 into 625, so 0.625, so it becomes 625 only, but it becomes negative. So here negative 625 into x cube. So do not forget that we have square and an x, so that is cube, right? So here it becomes dx. Okay, so plus we have 0 to 5, right? Big bracket again, 102.5 to be multiplied with 0 to 0.375, so 0.375 into 102.5, that is 38.44 again. So let's write down 38.44 into x square, right? Both are positive, so no change in the sign. Here again it will remain negative, but this is 20 by 2, so 10 into 3, 0.375 gives you 3.75 x cube, right? And dx. So we have minimized all the terms to an extent, and now we are ready to calculate the numerator. Now we'll take the integration, right? So 73.44 into x cubed by 3, where the limit is 0 to 3, minus, remember final answer you will be giving to me, right? So this will be my last calculation for this numerical, right? So be watchful. 6.25 into x raised to 4 by 4, limit goes with 0 to 3, plus 38.44 into x raised to cube divided by 3, limit goes with 0 to 5, minus 3.75 x raised to 4 by 4, limit goes with 0 to 5, bracket completes. So don't worry, in case you receive negative answer also, that's perfectly fine. Don't worry about it. But just give me the final value in terms of delta C in terms of numerator, right? And then we'll simplify it for the final answer in mm with the help of EI value. So for your sake, for your help, I will write down the EI value. 2 into 2, 4, 8 into 5, 13. So 4 in denominator, I will be writing in advance 4 into 10 raised to 13, and whatever you give me as answer will be writing here, and then we'll be obtaining the final answers, right, in mm. Remember this numerator to be multiplied with 10 to the power 12, right? So that easily we can manage right here. So you just give me the numerator value. By simplifying this thing, x is replaced with 3 for initial two terms, and rest of the two x's will be replaced by 5. Do not forget to consider the x limits, right? I mean L limit. Here it is 5, and here in these two terms it is 3. So let me highlight that portion for your easy reference so that you don't make any mistake. This is 3, this is again 3, this is 5, and this also as 5. So please give me the numerator value, and I'll be waiting for your answer for next 2-3 minutes. 3 minutes. Raise your hand once you are done. Right. Keep rolling, keep going, keep continuing to calculate and answer the question over here. Especially those who don't interact, I advise, because once you will be with me in the classrooms, I'll be roaming around to each and every student and seeing to it that you are calculating, right? So this pleasure of I would say waiting for others to answer will not be there in the classrooms, right? It will be lost. So it is better to have a practice of calculating numericals, long numericals. However, they are not complex in nature, they are very simple. They are largely an extension of the terms. So you can do it very well, you can manage it very well, because most of the logics have been set already. You can find out the values just by incorporating or replacing x with 3 and x with 5. So I think most of you should be able to calculate. Yangzong, very good. Okay, Let's go with her. Yes, Yangzong.
Sir, I'm getting 68.075 mm.
Okay, let just give me numerator, or should I write it here? Keep yourself unmuted until we carry out some question answer. So
Yes, sir.
should I write 68 here?
No, sir. Mine is final answer.
Minus 68.
Positive 68.075.
68.675.
075.
075. Should I write mm?
Yes, sir.
And then what do you think? Like, should I write denominator here, or it is final answer?
Final answer.
Final answer. Okay, so let's wait for others to respond. Uh, Thanks for the discussion. Now you can mute yourself if you want, and let's go to Darsha and let's have another answers just to confirm. Yes,
Sir,
Darsha.
I am getting 38.75 mm.
38.75 mm. So there is a substantial upset between these two answers, right? Are you sure, you guys, that you have used this numerator in this case, the denominator in this case? Let's say what Prashant has to say. Yes, Prashant.
Yes, sir, 38.75 mm.
So have you used this denominator?
Yes, sir.
Okay, after doing everything, like whatever is the numerator value, you have multiplied with 10 into 12, and then you have divided it by 4 into 13, 4 into 10 raised to 13, and then finally you are getting this, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, and we have one more hand raise earlier. Okay, Prashant, thanks. I think Henry was there. Who was there? Earlier, somebody raised the hand in addition to Prashant. Henry, yes, yes. Yes, Henry, tell us your answer.
So I got this one, 38.8.
38.8. Okay, 75 or 8. Okay, fine. So I think in case of Yangzong, please check your calculation if it is possible for a small error or something is, have gone wrong in calculation. In case, please check it out. So we'll go with this common answer, and this is what is my practice also in the classrooms where the majority answer is there. So I'll be going with this answer for a moment. In case if you want to recheck, those who want to recheck their answers, they can recheck here, and we'll go with the answer like 38.75 mm as a deflection over here. So with this, now I think we are all set, and thanks all those who have interacted here with me in this calculation and question answer. So this is that. Now I think most of us are literally clear how we can apply energy principle number one in the analysis, right? For the determinate beams to obtain the various values of slope and deflection. If you want to further analyze this beam, like if you want to calculate slope at point A or slope at point C or even slope at any of the point, you just need to do one thing that you know already. You need to apply fictitious moment. Let me explain you roughly over here just for your guidance, and you can try it also as a part of your practice. Let me apply force like this, I mean UDL, and then we have a point load here. Suppose I want value of theta A, so I will be applying positive value, fictitious value, m equals to 0 value at point A. And in this case, please be aware that I will be writing this as 60 kilonewton. I'll be writing here as 20 kilonewton as per the given values, and here will be 3 meters, here will be 5 meters, right? And please, now you just take care that you have applied unit moment, fictitious moment, not unit moment. When you say unit moment, it becomes m equals to 1, so don't make that mistake. So you have applied fictitious moment at point A. Now you have point B here and you have point C. So first step will be considering this moment, you have to obtain the reactions so that you have a moment is in your generalized equation. For example, directly you can start taking moment about point A or taking moment about point B, including existence of M. So you have to consider moment also in this calculation of reactions. I hope you are getting my point. So once you get the reactions in terms of something something M and something M on both sides, then you can go for del mx upon del m and it will give you the slope values. Rest of the steps are very similar, very simple, very same as we have developed over here. And once you have this equation with you, mx and del mx upon del m, your life becomes very easy, straightforward. You can go for the integration, get a total of both segments. Segment remains same, there is no change. Origins are also going to be remain same, so not at all there is a change. And likewise you can try it on your own. So please try theta a value, right? So once in the another session, I'll be cross checking your answer. Somebody can respond to me how you have calculated. Don't do it right now. I'm just giving you this in the practice. Now quickly, I would say let's look at to the application possibilities for energy principle number 2 in a indeterminate structure. Now just hold your calculations for a while and focus on the screen. I'm developing one simple numerical for explanation how we can relate. It's again very easy, you will find, because you have nicely and successfully implemented energy principle number 1 for the determinate structures. So don't worry about it, just focus over here. This is, let us say, W, this is L by 2. I'm just taking generalized format for your easy understanding and explanation over here, right? So let me write it A, B and C, okay? So now if I wish to draw SFBM diagram of this indeterminate structure, as you know, it is indeterminate by 1 degree. So you have to select the redundant. Now you have two choices how to make this structure redundant. Either you can select your VB as one of the redundant, which you can remove, or in case you don't need to remove it, but you just need to rename it. So how you have to work with it, let me show you once again what you have to exactly do. And I will also demonstrate how to apply energy principle number 2. So here, as you know, we have named this and as B. So I'll be writing here as VB. All right, friends. So it's very simple to see and to understand. This is L by 2. This is L by 2. All right. A, B and C. So now how we can apply principle number 2. So for that, let me take you back into the formulations little bit in the energy principle 2 here. This one, right? The partial derivative of total strain energy stored in the system with respect to the force is always minimum. And you know that always minimum is 0, right? So what, in nutshell, what you have to do is you just need to use this equation again as usually we have developed it, but the change is you have to compare this equation to 0, and that is how you will be getting your unknown out of it. Now here in this case, again let's jump to this and our current discussion, right? right now. This is the unknown for us. So what we will do smartly, we will include this unknown in our equation, and we will be doing like we'll be taking partial derivative of moment equation with respect to, yes, you guessed is right, partial derivative with respect to VB again, right? So that it gives you a kind of inclusion of the unknown quantity in your equation also, and you can create your new equation out of it. So let me quickly demonstrate it. Okay, for easiness, let me, for a straightforwardness, let me change these values just for a sake of easy understanding, right? Let's take this as 10 kilonewton as usual. This is 2 meters. Again, this is, let's say, 3 meters. All right. So I have developed this on the spot. So let's see how to do it. Now we have VB here. We have rest of the reactions will not, bother about it right now at this moment. We just want to have segments. So segments will be started from B to C and C to A, right? So we'll create segments like this. This is the crux which I am explaining to you, right? B to C, where B is the origin, of course, right? And now 0 to 3 meter is the length. We next is going to develop the MX generalized equation VB, and here we'll be standing somewhere because we are moving in this direction. I hope you are getting it. Here we are standing right now. So VB into X, and it's creating anti-clockwise moment, so it will be positive. So VB into X, that's all. And then let me take, this is the crux, this is the main point, del mx upon del VB. Okay, so X will be the answer. Similarly, now let's continue to explore the other segment, C2A, right, where C is the origin, length is 0 to 2 meters. Now VB, now we are standing here, please understand. So we have traveled from, this is done, this story is over now, don't worry about it, right? Now you are beginning your new travel from 0 at C and X to A. So VB is the force, and here you have to reach. So you have to, yes, pass this 3 meters, right? So again, it will be a clockwise positive moment. So VB into, let's say, X plus how much? 3. That is your first moment in this segment. And here now you have 10 waiting for us, and it will be clockwise moment. So I'll be taking it negative 10 into X, as simple as that. And let's take del mx upon del VB. So it will be nothing but more than X plus 3. That's all. So friends, now what you have to do is use that old equation delta B, right, equals to, because this is a point of interest, right? So delta B should be minimum, should be 0, right? So it should be equated to 0, 1 upon EI, right? Taking this segment wise 0 to 3. So that is VBX into X dx plus 0 to 2 meters VB X plus 3 into, there is one more term we need to consider, that is minus X here, 10X here, into X plus 3 dx. So this term we are going to equate to 0, because according to the second principle, the total energy stored in the structure under the effect of any of the movement associated to that particular force. Here our particular force is VB. So that's why associated energy will be in form of del mx upon del VB should be minimum. So minimum is always 0. So that's why we have equated it to 0 here, right? And now you can see that we have only one unknown, that is VB. And once you carry on with the unknown as VB, and when you carry on with the integration of this all, you will be getting your answer in terms of VB, right? So I'm again waiting for your answer in terms of VB. Just tell me the answer here. We should not be bothered about EI because it's going to on the other opposite side, which is 0. So it will become 0. So you'll be directly getting your answer in case of kilonewton. So multiply these things. Now I'm leaving it up to you. Multiply this VB x square, VB into x square. Here you need to do little more work. You need to expand it. Like here it will be VB into x plus 3 square minus 10x into x plus 3. Then you simplify it, expand it, whatever you want to do with it. And I'm just concerned with my answer of VB here. We have done a lot of practice now, so you should be clear enough how to do it. So please give me the VB value here. What is the VB value? Raise your hand once you are done. Sorry. Raise your hand once you are done. Oh, Henry, are you ready? Yes, Henry. Or you had raised your hand for earlier answer, I think. So you can unraise your hand, lower your hand now. Right. Now I'm waiting for VB value. So give me the VB value, raise your hand. Once you have that, just follow the sigma V equals to 0 and you'll be getting VA value. Once you have VA value, you can easily get the moment at A by mechanics rules. So for me, it has become very easy for explaining the things because you are very strong at your base and you can easily recollect your earlier calculations also. So for next 1-2 minutes, I'll be expecting VB value from you. At least if I get VB value from you, that means my motive, I have been successful in teaching you this principle number 2, how to apply. So you can raise your hand once you are done and tell me what is the value of VB. We have applied energy principle number 2 in this indeterminate structure, simplest form. So whoever is from you available to answer the question can raise the hand. We are running short of time. We have only 5 minutes left with us. So please do it fast, little bit, but don't make mistakes. Just expand this and integrate it. That's all. So this expansion, let me help you here. VB x square 6x plus 9 minus 10x square minus 30x dx. Right. I have become a little careless about writing these things on unscaled pages, so please bear with me for that. But I just want to show how to expand this. That's the importance. So wherever there is x, you just take an integration, like this term become VB into x cube upon 3. This becomes 6 VB x square by 2. This becomes 9 VB x. This is 10x cube by 3, and this is 3x square by 2. Likewise, this becomes x VB into x cube by 3. And you know the limit, 3 meters here and 2 meters here. So just go for it. Just and equate it to the 0, so you'll be getting your VB value easily. Come on, do it. Give me the answers. Straightforward calculation, very easy calculation. And just to confirm your answer, it should be less than 10, that's it. Right? It should be less than, of course, it should be less than 10. And also by proportion, we can say that it should be larger on side A, so should be in proportion. Anyone? At least one hand raise is needed. Now it's tick tick one, tick tick two times of the type of the condition. We have only last 3 minutes. I'll be going out of this within 3 minutes. You have to answer it within 3 minutes because I have a consecutive lectures. So, anyways, should not be a problem as far as calculation is concerned, but all of you are inspired, encouraged to answer VB value. It's just simple. I don't understand why you are taking so much time. It's simple calculation, VB x cube upon 3, and replace x with 3 here, and this is already I have expanded for you, so should not be a problem. Where's the problem, right? X is replaced with 2 here, x is replaced 3 here, that's all. Get out of the VB value, try it. At least you should try. See, you may be incorrect because of the numerical calculations, so that doesn't degrade your efforts. So not at all worry about even if your answers are not correct. I just need at least 3 answers so that we can confirm the answer. Otherwise, I'll leave it up to you. And in that case, you have to come back with a VB value, and then you have to produce the complete shear force and bending moment diagram. So now I think it's already a time, so I'm pausing here, and you were unable to give me the answer, so don't worry. I'll be checking shear force and bending moment in the upcoming class first of all. So I will need shear force diagram, bending moment diagram, of course VB value first, then VA value also you need to tell me. You also need to give me MA value, and of course naturally without this MA all these values will won't be coming into the SFBM diagram. So all these things you will be telling me randomly. I'll be asking before I begin the next session, that next time whenever we'll be meeting, I'll be first asking this to all of you, and then we'll carry on with some more practice on this energy principle number 2 applications, and then we'll go for new unit. So get ready, be prepared, and just tell me when you once you are done with this in the next class. I don't erase all these things because I secure it, so it will be there only. Okay, so we'll meet next time in the next class with this unknown values from your side. You have to show me this also, and then we'll proceed. So till then, take care, keep learning, and thanks for joining this session.